watching Sam TV.
Sam TV, the pulse of the nation.
Good evening and welcome to the broadcast of news at 9 p.m. on Sam TV, the pulse of the nation. You can also follow us on Facebook at Sam TV and on YouTube at Sam TV Live. Now the major headlines. On national news, Honorable Lawyer urges local translations of Nigeria's national anthem at Sunkai Yandang Carnival in Taraba State. Gombe police ready to prosecute truck driver in fatal accident case. Abuja set to launch new bus and taxi terminals to improve transport safety. Fast jokes about plantain rolls in romantic relationship. Liverpool clinches 20th English top flight title with 5-1 win over Tottenham. I am Bridget James with the news. Alhaji Audu Lawyer, a member of the House of Representatives, has called on ethnic groups to translate Nigeria's national anthem into their local languages to enhance patriotism and unity. Speaking at the first editions of the Sunkai Yandang Cultural Carnival in Mayo, Lope, Taraba State, Lawyer praised the Yandang people for singing the anthem in their language and urged other tribes to follow suit. He also pledged to support youth employment by encouraging applications for ongoing Nigerian Army recruitment. Senator Shuaibu Lau promised to connect Albari Mayo Lope to the national grid to boost employment, while Governor Agbo Kefers, represented by Secretary to the State Government, Timothy Katabs, promised to rehabilitate displaced Yandang communities and include the carnival in the state's cultural calendar. The event drew participants from across Gombe, Adamawa, and Taraba states. The Gombe State Police Command has concluded its investigations into the motor vehicle accidents that occurred on April 21, 2025, in Biliri local government area. In a statement signed by the police public relations officer, DSP Buhari Abdullahi, the command confirmed that the case is now ready for prosecution after a comprehensive investigation involving scene analysts. Evidence review and vehicle inspection, the truck driver Usman Mohammed, 28 years, of Al-Fagnistan Quarters, Gombe, has been charged with driving considerately and causing death by dangerous driving. The case has been transferred to Chief Magistrate Court 7 for trials. The command thanked members of the public for their support and encouraged anyone with further inquiries to contact the State Motor Traffic Department at the Police Area Command, Gombe. Abuja is preparing for the launch of 3 new bus and taxi terminals at Kubbo, Mabushi, and the Central area, aimed at improving transport safety and reducing the one-chance crime initiated by FCT Minister Nyesom Wike in May 2024. The project faced delays, but it's now nearing completion, with Mabushi Terminal 90% done, Kubbo 80%, and Central Area 40%. President Tinubu previously supported the scheme by providing CNG buses to promote clean, affordable transport. Residents and drivers have expressed optimism, praising the upcoming system for its safety, affordability, and professionalism. The terminal are expected to be ready by May 2025. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, launched the Nigerian Police Force School Protection Squad in Edo State to enhance the security of students and teachers. The initiative, developed with education stakeholders, aimed to provide rapid response to threats and foster trust between schools and law enforcement. Governor Monday Okpebholo pledged the state's support, highlighting measures like school fencing and grassroots security development. Over 65 officers have been trained for the program, which also includes a dedicated call to handle school safety concerns nationwide. Report has it that the chairman of Agatu local government area of Benue State, James Melvin Ejay, has issued a 48-hour ultimatum for Fulani herdsmen to vacate all farmlands in the area. The directive was given during a stakeholders meeting at the council secretariat in Obagaji, aimed at safeguarding farming activities ahead of the planting season. AJ emphasized the importance of protecting farmers' access to their lands, while the Fulani leaders requested and was granted a one-week grace period for relocation. Agatu youth leaders pledged to support a peaceful evacuation, and security agencies commended the non-violent approach, promising full support. Traditional leaders also praised the council's handling of the situations, urging all parties to uphold the agreements. Similarly, 10 victims of a herdsman attack in Otobi Akpor, Otukpo local government area of Benue State, were laid to rest on Sunday, April 27, 2025. The attack, which occurred on April 15, 2025, left the community in mourning as the mass burial took place at the Methodist Primary School in Otobi Akpor during the ongoing ceremony. The chairman of Otukpo local government, Maxwell Ogiri, expressed the community's deep sorrow, describing the day as saddest in their history. The bereaved families, visibly shaken, mourn the loss of their loved ones in a poignant atmosphere of grief. The Akwa Ibom State Police Commanders arrested a 72-year-old man, Monday Okoko, and recovered a couch of firearms from his residence in Ikot Ekpene. According to the command spokesperson, DSP Timfong John, a joint operations led to the discovery of locally made pistol, a single-barrel gun, and 5 Dane guns, gunpowder, and ammunitions. The police said investigations are ongoing to apprehend other gang members suspected of using the weapon to terrorize the state. The Oyo State Police Command has rescued 84 gunsless victims of human trafficking in Ibadan. The victims were found in a building in the Orogun area where they had been held captive after being trafficked to Nigeria under the false promise of employment opportunities. The traffickers had extorted large sums of money from the victims' families. The rescued individuals, including a baby, were seen being escorted to police vans and are now being held at the police headquarters in Eleyele, Ibadan. While investigations continue, efforts to reach the police public relations officer for comments were unsuccessful. Plateau State Deputy Governor Mrs. Josephine Pio has called for prayers and support from citizens for the success of Governor Caleb Mufong's administration. Speaking during the church service in Jos, she emphasized that spiritual backing is vital for the state's progress. Mrs. Pio highlighted the government's focus on improving key sectors like security, education, infrastructure, and health care. Despite the challenges, she expressed optimism that through unity, collaborations, and prayers, the administration could successfully transform Plateau into a model of peace and prosperity. She also urged religious and community leaders to foster peace and reconciliation, stressing that political differences should not hinder the state development. The events include prayers for the governor and other officials, with clergy members pledging continuous support for the administration. The deputy governor's appeal has been well received by various groups across the state. Police in Niger State have impounded 56 tricycles and 94 motorcycles as part of the ongoing enforcement of an executive order restricting motorcycles and tricycles operations between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. in the state's capital, Minna, which began on April 23rd and continued through April 26th, uncovered that some private motorcycles were being used for commercial purposes at night. State Police spokesperson, Superintendent Wasiu Abiodun, warned that private motorcycles operators without proper identification would face impoundment. The move is part of efforts to curb crime, including phone snatching and robberies. In the Minna metropolis, police have urged all motorcyclists and tricyclists to comply with the order until further government directives are issued. Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State has expressed confidence that more members of the opposition will continue to join the All Progressive Congress. Speaking to the press in Abuja after a meeting with political stakeholders from Delta State, Uzodinma highlighted recent defections, including that of Governor Sharif Oborori from the People's Democratic Party to the APC. He noted that the APC's presence in Delta is growing stronger and that the state is now nearly a one-party state. As chair of the Progressive Congress Forum, Uzodinma assured that the party would use its internal mechanism to integrate both new and old members, strengthening the party's unity and supporting the APC government in Delta for the benefit of the people. The Osun leaders of Third have advised Governor Ademola Adeleke against plans to defect from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress. The group, in a statement issued on April 25, 2025, described the pressure on the governor to switch parties as ill-advised and warned that such a move could disrupt Ogun political balance. The OLT urged the governor to support President Bola Tinubu's re-election bid for 2027 without defecting, emphasizing that Adeleke's political brand is vital for success in Osun. The proposed strategic alliance between the governor and the presidency instead of a full defection, calling it the best options for political stability and progress in Osun. Speculations about Adeleke's possible defections has increased amid ongoing discussions about coalitions formations for the 2027 election. Leaders from the Ukwa Nwa political bloc in Abia State have urged Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Okeze Kalu, to run for governor in the 2027 election. They praised his legislative achievements and mobilizing activities, expressing strong support for the All Progressive Congress to take control of the state. Kalu welcomed the support, promising to work with the group to strengthen the APC in Aba and secure victory in the upcoming election. Chief Oluwarobo Alabi, former chairman of the Ondo State Electricity Board, was buried in his hometown, Ijare, on April 25, 2025, following his death on December 13, 2024, at age 84. His funeral service, held at St. Peter's Anglican Church, was attended by dignitaries who celebrated his legacy of philanthropy and service. Clerics praised his generosity while his family members honored his life with tribute from his wife and son, emphasizing his guidance and impact on their lives. May his gentle soul continue to rest in peace. Gunmen abducted two senior officials from the Kwara State Local Government Service on April 25, 2025, along the Omu-Aron-Ilorin route. Among those kidnapped were Elizabeth Arinde, head of the legal department at Okwe-Ero Local Government, and another unnamed officials. The police confirmed the incident and launched a rescue operations, freeing two victims, while efforts continues to locate the remaining 5. The Nigerian Bar Association in Ilorin also issued an alert for Arinde that follows a similar kidnapping incident earlier in the month. The Nigerian Red Cross Society has urged residents of flood-prone areas in Kogi State to heed early warnings and relocate to higher grounds. This advice was given during an event aimed at distributing hygiene and sanitary items to 500 women affected by the 2024 flood. In collaboration with the European Union Humanitarian Aid, Kogi is identified as high-risk area for flooding in 2025. With the Nigerian Meteorological Agency predicting widespread flooding across 1,249 communities in 30 states and the Federal Capital Territory, the Red Cross has been actively encouraging flood-prone communities to prioritize safety ahead of the rainy season. Beneficiaries of the initiative commended the proactive step taken, calling for continued public education, the dredging of water channels, and relocations of communities along riverbank to reduce the impact of the predicted flood. Two men, Murtala Abdullahi and Abdullahi Abdullahi, were sentenced to life imprisonment by the Kebbi State High Court for gender-based violence after being convicted of raping a 14-year-old girl. The charges included criminal conspiracy to commit rape, and criminal intimidation. The court found the defendants guilty based on their confessions and corroborating testimonies, including a medical report confirming the victim's injuries. The first accused also intimidated the victim with a cutlass, resulting in bruises. In addition to the life sentences, the court imposed a fine of 250,000 or 1 year of imprisonment for criminal intimidation. The Nigerian police force successfully failed a kidnapping attempt on the Funtua-Gusau highway in Katsina on April 19, 2025. Acting on credible intelligence, police officers engaged armed bandits in gunfight, forcing them to flee with bullet wounds. 10 people, including 2 drivers and 8 passengers, were rescued unharmed and reunited with their families. In a separate operation, police in Taraba arrested notorious criminal Umar Ahmed on April 18, 2025, and recovered firearms and ammunition in Mayo, Faran village. Additionally, in Anambra, police uncovered a weapon couch and arrested a suspect linked to a criminal gang. Police continue to emphasize their commitment to public safety, urging citizens to support law enforcement's efforts with timely intelligence. At least 12 people were killed in a series of Boko Haram attacks in Borno State over the weekend. The victims were ambushed along Kirawa roads and in Boko Gide, Polka district. 2 civilian joint task force members were killed on Friday, while 10 firewood gatherers and scavengers were killed the following day. The Emir of Guza, His Royal Highness Alhaji Muhammad Shehu Tinta, condemned the attack, warning that continued violence could derail efforts to rebuild the state. His comment came shortly after Governor Babagana Zulum urged the military to intensify operations against insurgents. The Emir also called for enhanced technological welfare to combat the insurgency, expressing concern that the attack could disrupt the upcoming farming season. The Bayelsa State government has called on the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to investigate the shooting incident that occurred during a rally organized by the new associates at the Church of God Mission campground in Yenagoa on Saturday. The government condemned the violence and urged the police to take swift action to identify and prosecute those responsible. In a statement, it was emphasized that the rally, which was meant to be peacefully, violated the Electoral Act and INEC's guidelines by being held at the religious site. Authorities warned political groups not to involve religious organizations in partisan activities and stated that any breach of the law will result in sanctions. The government reiterated its commitment to maintaining peace and securing the safety of all residents. Governor Chukwuma Soludo expressed confidence in Anambra preparation for the upcoming Gateway Games in Ogun State, set to take place from May 16 to 30th, 2025. Receiving the torch of unity at the government house in Akwa, Soludo, represented by his chief of staff, Mr. Chinedu Moye, highlighted the historical significance of the Nigerian Sports Festival as a unifying initiative established after the Nigerian Civil War. He urged a number of athletes to adequately prepare, emphasizing that sports can positively impact society, team leaders, Unity Cup of the National Sports Commission. Ikenga Bora also addressed the gathering, noting that the torch's arrival signaled the imminent start of the festival in Abeokuta. Yobe State Governor Maimala Buni has dismissed claims that the plan to join any coalition movement in a statement issued by his Director General of Press and Media Affairs, Mamman Mohammed, on April 26, 2025. The governor's office called on Facebook users' assertion that Buni was joining a coalition baseless and fabricated. Mohammed clarified that Governor Buni remains fully committed to the All Progressive Congress, a party he has served in significant roles, including National Secretary and National Chairman. He further rejected rumors suggesting that Buni might leave the APC, labeling them as misguided political calculations. The statement also refuted a report alleging that several APC governors, including Buni, will defect to the People's Democratic Party before the 2027 election. The Youth Council of Benue State has condemned Nasarawa State Governor Alhaji Abdullahi Sule for his remark on Benue security challenges, accusing him of politicizing the issue. Governor Sule recently blamed the ongoing killing in Benue on the suspension of the anti-open grazing law by Governor Haisan Aliyu, claiming it had given Fulani herders an advantage to respond. The Youth Council, led by Barrister Anthony Appin, dismissed Sule's comments as politically motivated and linked them to his ties with Senator George Akume, who they accused of instigating protests to escalate insecurity in Benue. The group further criticized Sule for not addressing similar security issues in his own state, Nasarawa, urging him to secure his border before pointing fingers at others. A function of the Zamfara State House of Assembly has emerged challenging the legitimacy of the suspension of 10 lawmakers by the impeached Speaker, Biaminu Ismail Marika, led by Speaker Bashir Aliyu Gumi. The function issued a one-month ultimatum to Governor Dauda Lawal to address insecurity in the state, particularly banditry and kidnapping. They accused the governor of neglecting security, misusing funds, and failing to support security forces. The factions also called for reinstatements of over 4,000 wrongfully dismissed civil servants and compensation for families of slain officers. The Nigerian Labour Congress has cancelled its centralized May Day celebrations in Rivers and Edo State, citing political interference and the impositions of emergency rule in Rivers State. The NLC directed that Workers' Day in Rivers be commemorated with a peaceful rally at the NLC Secretariat, focusing on the restorations of democratic governance. In Edo, unions will celebrate independence due to ongoing internal conflicts and alleged government interference. The NLC has dismissed an authorized circular in Edo calling for attendance at a government parade. Labeling it fraudulent, the NLC continues effort to resolve the crisis in both states and protect the independence of the labor unions. Report from Adamawa has it that Governor Amadu Fintiri of Adamawa State has continued his effort to enhance education in the state through various initiatives aimed at easing access to learning. One key intervention is the provision of financial assistance to students across different institutions in the state. With the introductions of free educations at both the basic and secondary level, many youths who had previously dropped out are now returning to school. Emmanuel Kefers, the representative for Song constituency, who spoke on behalf of the governor during a ceremony where 150 students received study assistance, praised the initiative as a valuable legacy for the youth. Stakeholders and student beneficiaries alike commended the government's effort, describing the gesture as morale boosting. Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji has expressed sympathy for residents affected by a rainstorm that damaged buildings and facilities. He confirmed no casualties and directed the State Emergency Management Agency to assess the damage and provide support. The governor reassured residents of the government's commitment to assisting victims and urged them to remain calm. Bauchi State will begin compulsory polio vaccinations for intending pilgrims on April 28, 2025, in partnership with the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency. The vaccination required by the Saudi Ministry of Hajj Affairs will be administered at local government health agencies. The Bauchi Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board is ensuring all pilgrims comply with the mandate to protect their health before traveling. Special provision will be made for women, including pregnancy tests. The Obedient Movement in Delta State has strongly criticized the defections of Governor Sharif Obewari, former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, and other People's Democratic Party leaders to the All Progressive Congress. The group led by Chris Bayos condemned the move as betrayal of the electoral mandate given by the people of Delta State. Bayos urged that the defections undermine democratic principle and party loyalty, accusing the defectors of lacking ideology and values. He warned that the shift was aimed at rigging future elections, particularly the 2027 polls, and could expose the state to greater insecurity and governance challenges. The Association of Residents Communities in Sokoto has inaugurated a 12-member security committee tasked with supporting peace, security efforts in the state. The committee's creation follows recommendations from a local security agency to address the spread of misinformation and fake news, particularly on social media, which could disrupt public order. ACROS chairman Mr. Olukbemi Samuel explained that the commitment role will involve intelligence gathering and ensuring proper verifications of security-related information before sharing it. The committee, chaired by Master Warrant Officer Abubakar Godobe, includes members from various states across Nigeria. Mr. Samuel urged ACROS members to report security concerns to the committee and emphasized the importance of upholding peace and following legal procedures when addressing conflicts. Wife of the Cross River State Governor, Bishop Mrs. Eyowan Otu, has been praised for her innovative and people-focused initiative, particularly the introductions of the Easter Carnival. Speaking during a radio interview on FAD FM's The People's Opinion program in Calabar, Deputy Chief Press Secretary and Think Across River Group Coordinator Mr. Adam Darlington described the Easter Carnival, also called the Jesus Carnival, as strategic effort to promote the state religious and cultural heritage while boosting tourism and economic growth. Darlington highlights the carnival's aim to balance faith-based content with entertainment attraction, a diverse audience, and positioning in Cross River as a year-round tourist destination. Special Advisor on Events Management, Mr. Efong Ekpeyang, added that the initiative complements the state's broader tourism development plans, with the Christian Associations of Nigeria, CAN, actively involved in its organization. The Kano Zonal Director of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, Ibrahim Shazali, has warned travelers, including businessmen, pilgrims and tourists, against breaching Nigerians' cash movements law, stating that violations could lead to the forfeiture of funds and a minimum 2 years jail term. Speaking at a sensitization program organized by the EFCC, Nigerian Customs Service, and the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, Shazali stressed that ignorance could not excuse offenders. He reminded travelers that under Nigerian law, anyone carrying over $10,000 or its equivalent must declare it to custom and provide evidence of the source of fund. Failure to comply will result in seizure, prosecutions, and potential backsliding. He urged stakeholders to adhere to regulations and support efforts to combat illicit financial flows. Human rights advocates, including Femi Falala, Executive Director of the International Press Center, Executive Director of Media Rights Agenda, Edetong Ojo, have raised concern over threats to the residents of the late activist Gani Fawahimi in Ikeja, GRA, Lagos. Speaking on behalf of the group, Falana revealed that a developer has erected a 4-story hotel dangerously close to Fahimi's fence, ignoring regulations and family warnings. He warned that the structure poses a serious risk, citing incidents where a 1,000-liter water tank collapsed into Fahimi's compound. The group demanded the demolition of the building, alleging violations of Lagos State urban development laws, particularly the required setback between structures, and urged authorities to act before any tragedy occurs. Let's take a brief commercial break. Don't change the channel. We'll be right back with more exciting updates on Super Media Television. Please don't go away.
The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN Women Wing, will weaken to Taraba State, cordially invites the public to their 31st annual convention, which is scheduled to take place on 15th through 18th May 2025. Venue CRC and LCC EB. Theme: the role of Christian women in time like this. Special guest of honor, Her Excellency Mrs. Agin Agbukefus, First Lady of Taraba State. Guest speakers, Very Reverend Engineer Okechukwu Kalu JP and Reverend Sagarga Novalga Gargia. Chief host, Mrs. Alice Nuhu, weekend chairperson. Host, Mrs. Philomena Ibrahim and Reverend Dr. Dan Adis. Announcer, Planning Committee.
Are you ready to advance your career in health and management? Higher Ground College of Health and Management Sciences invites ambitious students to pursue excellence in dynamic learning environments. Why choose us? Our institution offers a transformative educational experience, combining education excellence and practical skills. We provide a cutting-edge curriculum with hands-on training, mentorship from industry professionals, networking opportunities for career growth, and leadership.
Welcome back. Coming up next are the international business and sport news. On the international news, Russia launched fresh drone and airstrike on Ukraine just hours after U.S. President Donald Trump questioned Vladimir Putin's willingness to end the conflict. 3 people were killed and 4 injured in airstrike on Kostyantynivka in Donetsk region, according to local prosecutors, while a drone attack on Polhodret in Dnipro region left 1 dead and a 14-year-old girl wounded after a 3rd consecutive night of assault, local governor Serhiy Lysak confirmed. On business news, clerics are increasingly concerned about the rising rate of theft at worship centers in Nigeria, where worshippers now frequently lose valuables like phones, car keys, and even cars. The blame growing insecurity and public nature of churches, with some noting that many cases go unreported due to ineffective policing. Clerics like Pastor Baba Tokpe and Pascal Ifedibe are calling for improved security measures and insurance for church property. They also link the trends to grief, a lack of reverence for scared spaces, and the presence of mixed crowds in churches. Despite the challenges, they stress the need for vigilance without compromising the church openness to all. On entertainment news, Nigerian actor and rapper Folarin Falz Falala has humorously shared that a lack of affections for plantain could endanger his romantic relationship. In a recent post on X handle, the Pop Daddy artist expressed his deep love for plantain, stating not like plantain is serious ground for breakup. He further revealed his culinary preference, stating he could enjoy boiled yam and fried eggs every day for the rest of his life. Sport news. Liverpool clinched their 20th English top 5 title with a commanding 5-1 victory over Tottenham Hotspur at Anfield on Sunday, April 27, 2025. Goal from Dominic Solanke putting Spurs ahead. The Reds responded emphatically with goals from Luis Diaz, Alexis, Mark Alister, Cody Gakpo, and Mohamed Salah, along with an own goal by Destiny Oduge. This triumph not only secured Liverpool's 2nd Premier League title, but also brought them level with Manchester United. Record of 20 league championship. Under new manager Arne Slot, Liverpool have dominated the season, losing only twice in 34 matches. In another Premier League fixtures, Manchester United salvaged a 1-1 draw against Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium. Antoine Semenyo gave the Cherries a first half lead, and despite being reduced to 10 men following Evaluations read in the 70th minute. Monmouth held firm until Rasmus Højbjerg emphasized in the 6th minute of stoppage time. The result leaves United in 14th place, just 3 points above the relegation zone, while Bournemouth side 10th with their hopes for European qualification still alive. That's all for this edition of News at 9 p.m. from Psalm TV. Before we go, here is a recap of the major headlines. On to national news. Honorable lawyer urges local translation of Nigerian national anthem at Sunkai Yandang Carnival in Taraba State. International news. Russia launches fresh drones and airstrike on Ukraine amid U.S. President's comments. Business news. Cleric raised concern over rising theft at Nigerian worship centers. Entertainment news. Fast jokes about plantain role in romantic relationship. Sport news. Liverpool clinches 20th English top 5 title with 5-1 win over Tottenham. Stay tuned for more lined up of program from Psalm TV. You can also follow us on Facebook at Psalm TV and on YouTube at Psalm TV Live. I remain Bridget James. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.
Psalm TV, the pulse of the nation.